having their voice heard. And even when I ran, one of my campaign items was to ensure the voices of all residents are heard. And to me, in this venue here, we cannot do that. We cannot, you can go outside, somebody said, go out and listen to it streaming or whatever. That's not the same. I'm adamant about having where all the residents can come in to one location and have their voices heard. And so we can't do it here. We need to do it at the high school. Now, I will say this, and I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but the town's business should not be done at the high school. We'll cover that in a minute. It's not a good atmosphere for that, and I think that needs to be done elsewhere. So I'm totally, and this is why I called this meeting tonight, to do this, because this is important. It's important to me, it's important to the residents. As you can see, this is not even the comment, the public hearing night. And look, you've got people standing outside, can't even get in here. So it's important to the residents, and I think we should listen to the residents.
Okay, so you don't think there's gonna be a big crowd when we vote on it?
Oh,
Do you think we're not gonna be people standing outside the door here wanting to get in?
but here's the thing, we cannot, and our council has spoken that, she's adamant that we not do business down there. And I'll ask you, where do you feel safer doing business, here or down there?
I feel safer wherever the deputy rent is.
Well,
And I'll say this, I'm with you on letting the public have their turn at the podium, absolutely. And anybody that knows me, that's talked to me since I've been here knows that. This project came on the books in December of '23. This council voted to extend the public comment time from 3 minutes to 4 minutes, unanimously. We all agreed on this. We agreed to have public comments at the planning board, which we didn't have before. That's another chance for people to speak. And we've had how many meetings between the 23rd, December of '23 and now that people have not known about this. They have not had an opportunity to stand at that podium or at the planning board to make their feelings known. So if this was just something that was a couple of months old, if this was like 4 or 5 months old, I'd say, you're probably right. We may need to get this a little more airtime and get people a little more informed on what's possibly coming there. But it's been how long? Let's see, 12, 13, 15 months. So I get what you're saying, but this thing of saying the public has not had a chance to properly express their views and opinions to us in over a year and 4 months, that's where I'm saying, and now you're saying that because of the crowds that are involved, we want to have one event at the high school, but then when it comes to the vote, we're going to have that here. And I'm saying the vote is going to be just as just as popular a place of attendance as the public comment time is going to be. And we have conducted town business at the high school before.
yeah, and they said it was a really bad idea because there were limitations to what the deputy could do at the high school versus
I
here.
refer to my last 2 points about how many votes we've had on this already.
Okay, but here's the deal. We don't even know if this is a waste of time. We don't know if Toll Brothers is even gonna have their stuff.
Exactly.
But then the venue needs to be at the high school, people can say their piece, and then there is no harm. And if they're ready in April, there is no harm in taking 1 month when it's been 2 years already, because stuff changes, Jeff. Stuff has changed all along the way, even in the last 15 days. And so it'll give everybody time to process, make sure that it's the best case scenario for Weddington, and then we can vote and move on. And that's what should have been done to begin with, but like Tom said, Weddington was not an option at the time. We were trying to get answers from them, had not heard. So I'm ready to make the vote.
Let's do
Tom
it.
already
Let's
said,
call the vote.
yes.
Okay.
And we need a second. We need a second for that.
I second.
All in favor?
Is this for the second?
It's for the
This is for the
which we
rescind.
have to do to
This is
change the
actually-
Yeah, this is the
location.
vote to rescind.
Rescind.
Because yes, because we have
Then
to
we
do
go
it to
on
change
to the next step.
Right, yes, exactly. So all in favor to rescind? Okay, it's 2. All opposed to rescind? It's 2. I will be the tiebreaker to rescind. So 3 to 2.
Call the next vote.
Okay? All right. We're gonna move forward to item number 4. This is a motion to amend the town council calendar to change the venue of the regular meeting on council schedule on April 14th. Now, this is to move it to Weddington High School. So we have to vote to do that, to move it to Weddington High School. So it's item 4. Okay?
Do we need another motion?
So can I
I
get a motion
motion to move the April 14th meeting to Weddington High School if Toll Brothers is ready to present and we're ready for the public hearing, because it doesn't need to be moved otherwise, right?
Correct.
But you have to do the notice, I guess.
Yeah, right,
That's the
right.
problem.
So it has to be there no matter.
Right.
So I make a motion to move the April 14th meeting to Weddington High School.
Comments, discussion on this?
I think we already covered it.
No comments?
I think it's the proper place to hold the meeting.
My only comment, if Darcy, would you mind amending to say that we're going to amend the town's regular meeting calendar to move the April 14th meeting?
I motion to amend the regular town calendar to change the venue of the regular meeting on the council schedule on April 14th to Weddington High School.
All right, no more discussion, or no discussion on that? Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay. I'm gonna vote all in favor of this. Okay, it's unanimous to move it to Weddington High School, so we'll have that on April 14th at Weddington High School. Okay? And,
Consideration.
right, now moving on to item 6. This is discussion and consideration of postponing discussion and consideration of Toll Brothers conditional zoning application to a later date, to the regular May meeting. And this is simply stating that there will be no action or vote taken at the high school. That night will be just public comment, public hearing, with comment.
All right, so you're saying that that's the only thing, if we're not doing town business,
Are you doing
that
town
means,
business?
no, he just said we can't take the vote there, and that's town business. We can't have the hearing and the vote there. So you're just saying this is just gonna be a public hearing. If the thing is ready,
Correct.
we're gonna cancel the April, basic meeting.
Business.
Right. We'll do the regular, your Tommy's right, we'll do regular business. I'm not sure where you're coming at.
What I'm
We're
coming
just not
at
just
is,
gonna have
we're not gonna have the vote,
we're not gonna have the vote that night.
because that's the business we don't wanna have that day.
We do not want to have the vote at
So we're
the high
doing-
school.
Just to make sure I heard you correctly. We're gonna do town business at the town hall, but the business of taking a vote, we're not gonna do at the high school. That's all I wanna clear up.
We were advised not to vote at the high school.
And here's another thing, Jeff.
So
We're
clear
clearing the
it,
calendar,
you're just
we're
gonna
clearing the
say,
calendar of
then just
any-
make it a motion to have a public hearing if everything is ready. That way it's nice and neat. We're not gonna do any other town business. You
Why-
just,
Let me ask you this. Why are you pushing this up?
I am pushing this because we've got a process and we need to follow that. And you're the one that just said we don't need to be doing town business at the high school.
Brandon said a while ago, this is a big deal, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a big vote. I don't, and your words were, I don't think we should rush this. Now, I don't know what part you don't get of that.
I don't get what part 15 months of discussion between the planning board and this town council. And we've already said that if they don't have it ready, it's gonna be moved.
What's 4 more
This
weeks?
project has changed multiple times. It's changed from conservation development.
No. Gavel him down.
A giant sewer plant.
And it's
To all
changed,
sorts of
and
things.
it's changed based on public input. There are people in this room that didn't want it to be RCD, so that was a change. They didn't like the septic system, so that's been changed twice. So please don't tell me
Don't tell me it's been
that
changed
these,
twice.
that these are just things that have come out of thin air. Most of these things have come from public input. all I'm saying, Mayor, is if you're saying we can't do town business, or we should not be doing town business at the high school, I voted to move it there. Then let's just make it a public hearing, and that's it. We don't do any other town business.
And that's, I don't know if you've heard, but we're clearing the calendar so we don't do all the other town business down. We've already discussed that. You're part of that discussion. We're not gonna be going through all this other stuff that we normally do because it could be a big night. And I've made a statement, we're gonna hear every person, if we're there all night long, unless we get to the point where we're so dead, tired, we need to move it, continue on, pick up at the next meeting. We're gonna hear every person. So to have all the business that we normally do on an agenda is just ludicrous. So
So if you're calling this a town council meeting,
it's gonna be,
then that's town business.
I want to make sure that I understood the advice of the attorney, which was, the way I understood it, it was to not entertain negotiation in that space. But if it is a clean, everyone understands, and we're not discussing any of the conditions.
Yes, so that venue is extraordinarily different, does not have the resources that we have here that are easy to see. For example, when we were there last time, we didn't have the screens, council couldn't see the screens, so we didn't know what was being presented.
Right.
There was a lot of back and forth between the developer and council,
Right.
and that was very difficult to get clean minutes, to have easy conversations, and to have a full actual debate and consideration over the proposals that were being made.
Yes.
Because of that, that venue is not conducive to holding a dialogue and the negotiation and even your own consideration and any amendments that may want to happen to the conditions while we are in that venue. And so that is why I have advised that it would be, you all would have a better business meeting on that topic here at Town Hall than you would live at the Weddington High School with the amount of people who would be in the crowd.
Okay.
Not to mention, I think it's fair to say the public comment is going to go hours.
Sure.
At midnight, I don't know if I really want to be.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just think, like I was saying, the process is the process. We got to let it play. We got to see if we hear anything from the developer between now and when the packet is due. I mean, it's the process. I'm having a hard time nailing down, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. There are so many unknowns.
well, and there are, but we have to plan for what ifs, we could get all the
So then
information.
let's vote.
So we have to move forward. And so I think the public would be okay with us doing the town business in a controlled environment where we can do it. Everyone heard our attorney's recommendation, and I support that. I highly support that. And I don't, and I think also all the council members need to be here. I think all hands on deck. And we can't push forward something this big, this controversial without the entire council. And so, that's all I had to say about it.
Can you explain to me the controversy that you're alluding to?
Really?
Yeah.
Have you read your emails? I mean, I'm not trying to be smart, but.
You're being very smart. No, I just want to understand the controversy that you think is going to arise.
It's a very controversial development.
What are the specific controversial topics relative to the town of Weddington and the business that we conduct?
That is not for discussion right now. We're discussing.
But I'm asking to discuss it.
We're discussing
Is that off limit? I'm sorry. Is that off limits? Okay. I just wanted to know what the controversial topics are that you think are going to arise if we need to prepare for the what if.
some things we have, some things we don't, some things are in our wheelhouse, some things are not.
But what are those things then?
But some of the things are stormwater issues, which we do have control of that. I'm not sure that's been nailed down. We have sent out conditions to them. We have.
Mayor, I am going to recommend that we not speak to specifics since
And that's where I didn't want to go. Right,
But-
correct.
So, I'm not sure if you're talking about crowd control and meeting, I don't know what you're aiming towards.
Right.
That's I'd rather not, I don't want to open the door on the specific issues
Correct.
that have to do with the development tonight, because that's not what's on the table.
Oh, the conditions? Yeah, no, I just wondered what he thought was going to come up that was so controversial.
We spoke. So, let's, can I get a motion? It's, motion number 5,
And there's 6.
number 6. Yeah, you're right, motion number 6. This is the motion to,
But
delay.
this isn't a motion yet, this was a topic, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to consider moving discussion and consideration of the Toll Brothers Development POA to a later date, no sooner than the next regularly scheduled town council meeting.
So I have a comment to that. I am for that, so that we can process it, so we can calm it down, so we can be in the right frame of mind. But I want to be clear that I am not for moving the calendar to make sure, like, I know everybody wants everybody to be here to vote, but I don't think you can manipulate the calendar when it's given a year in advance. And so the reason I'm moving it is because we're gonna have a long meeting. There's a lot of emotion about this. Everyone needs to be heard. We need to make smart decisions. We can calm it down, and we can certainly slow it down by 30 days when it's been 2 years already. But it is not okay to pick and choose what council members can be here for different developments. So if there needs to be a change that all council members have to be present for every development decision made, then that's fine. But I just want to make that clear, because I have been slaughtered on social media. I don't even get on social media anymore. And y'all need to really have a self-check about how you speak about people.
Okay, so this motion here would be to have, no vote, no,
Discussion.
Consideration
to the next regularly
next
scheduled meeting.
Correct. May I get so we have a motion, any more discussion on this? Okay, I'm gonna move forward with a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Darcy second. All in favor? We have 2, all opposed? 2, 4, 2 yes. I'm gonna move with Tom and Darcy, so it'll be 3-2. So, staff, do we have an understanding of where we're at on all these topics? Yeah.
And Rick, I have one question. Have you received much of any of the information that they promised us? I had no
That's
idea.
that's not,
That's not-
that's
that's
not.
not-
that was the question. I'll
Yeah,
answer
yeah.
later.
So my question is, when we do the update, mail it, can't think of the term. Will this go out as, update on the venue, update, no voting, no action taken that night, that kind of thing? Does
No, it'll
that
just be
happen?
on the agenda.
Pardon?
It'll just be on the agenda.
Just be on the agenda?
You will notice that the regular, the calendar has changed, the venue of the April meeting, so that will be noticed on the town's website and your, and however else we're supposed to do it under the ordinance Karen knows. And then the agenda will reflect the citizens vote tonight.
Okay, so just repeat, the meeting will be on April 14th, Weddington High School. There will be no vote, no action taken that night. We'll come back now, if Toll Brothers is not, just like what Brandon was saying, if Toll Brothers is not even ready for that, we'll cancel that. Just know that, we're not gonna have a public hearing if they're not even ready. So if they're ready, we'll go along with 14th, April 14th.
But it's at the high school, no matter.
Hold a second.
So just so you know, it'll be high school no matter what.
Okay.
If Toll Brothers isn't ready,
Yeah.
as we all discussed before, we're still gonna have to meet there.
That's fine, we'll meet there. And then May 12th, if Toll Brothers, correct me if I'm wrong, if they're not ready, it won't happen, the vote won't happen May 12th, but if they are, at that point, then we'll have the vote here town hall, May 12th. And I hope the residents understand that conducting town business, we don't want to do it down there. It's better to have them right here, and we can conduct that, and you all heard what our council said about that. It's streaming, and we have a better record of that to protect us all, okay? So just know that, and that's why we're doing that, okay? It's not to squash a voice or a vote or can't get anybody in here. We can still watch and stream it, but we have a record of it. So, anyway, is there anything else that we need to discuss on this before we adjourn? Okay.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.